Okay, today's lesson is chapter 1-1, and we are going to, it's a two-part little section. The first part is the top part of my screen, and you'll see there that is write a numerical expression for each verbal phrase. A numerical expression is just basically a math sentence. So if you will refer to our Canvas homepage, go to the assignment that says chapter 1-1, click on that assignment and you will see a chart. And in that chart are different phrases for certain operations. So for example, addition, it could be the sum of. For subtraction, it could be the difference between or the difference of or less than. For multiplication, it could be times or the product of. These are just a few. There's more in that chart. And I would like for you to go to the chart that should be just above this video on the Canvas homepage. And I would like for you to copy that chart down in your notes. For division, you could see the word quotient or divide. So anyway, if you would do that, if you would get that chart put in your notes, that would help you a ton. So for number one, I'm not going to do all 8 of these here in this first section. I'm just going to pick out a couple that I did in class on the board. So for the example, this number 1, well, 31 increased by 14. If you look at that chart, increased by is one of the addition words, right? Increased by. So that means that it's 31 increased by 14 or 31 plus 14. Now you'll notice we're not solving these, right? All it's wanting us to do is write the numerical expression. So what that means is you take the word sentence, turn it into a math sentence. We're not solving it, right? So you're not going to put equals and then solve it, okay? The difference of, you'll notice that difference of, that's another one of those phrases in that box that you saw on Canvas in the assignment. Difference of is subtraction. Well, the difference of 16 and 9, that's 16 minus 9. Now, I do want to just, it's not one of these examples, but I did see on another paper there was an example, and I wanted to bring it up because subtraction problems are the only ones that kind of, I don't know, can be tricky, okay? So if you have, and I'll erase this after I write it, but you might want to put this in your notes. If you have something that says 5 less than 50, okay? Whoops, 50. Okay, 5 less than 50. Well, you'll notice that less than is one of those terms under subtraction in your box there in our assignment. So if you write it in the order that you see the letters, like we did up here, right here we had, right here we had 16, and then we just put minus 9, right? So 16 minus 9. Well, when it's 5 less than 50, less than's kind of weird. Sometimes you have to kind of flip that around. Think about what it's asking you. If I said you had 5 less than 50, what is 5 less than 50? Well, if you take 50 and then you're 5 less than that, you're actually subtracting 5 from 50. So you'll notice in the example here on number 2, the difference of, you just wrote 16 and 9 in the order they were given to you. But if it says less than, right, sometimes you got to think about it, and it might be that you need to put those numbers in opposite order of what they're written, right? The 5's written first and the 50's written second, but in our equation we need to write, our numerical expression, not an equation, we write 50 minus 5. So you just kind of sometimes, if you're stuck and you're not sure exactly what order you should write them, just go ahead and think through the answer, and a lot of times that'll help you, right? If you think, what is 5 less than 50? Well, 5 less than 50 is 45, and then you think, how did I come up with that? Well, I took 50 and I subtracted 5, and so that's where we come up with this right here as our answer, okay? All right, let's jump down to number 3. Here we've got the sum of. Well, the sum of is an addition phrase that you'll see in your operations box, and we've got 3 things listed in a group right here. You've got these 3 numbers. You've got 7, 4, and 18, right? Well, since the sum of, and then these are all listed with commas, that means they all go together. That means they all share that same operation. So you would write this as 7 plus 4 plus 18, and that would be your answer. Okay? 3 times 40, I think that's pretty simple. 3 times 40, right? That one's pretty simple. Again, no need to work this because we're just writing numerical expression. The quotient of, right? The quotient of, that is a division operation. So the quotient of 81 divided by 3. You've got 81 here, you've got 3 here, and we know our operation is division, okay? Number 6 here, we're going to look at, it's 4 more than the product of 7 and 8. So we got a couple of things going on here. I'll kind of color code these. So first we have more than. Well, you'll notice in that box there on Canvas that more than is plus. But then you also notice that you have the product of. Well, product of is multiplication. So we've got a couple things going on here. And then if you want to look at what numbers you've got a 4, you've got a 7, and you've got an 8, right? So how would we write that in a numerical expression or a math sentence, right? So we've got, I'm going to just kind of use this space right here because I'm running out of space here. We've got 4 more than, that's 4 plus, the product of, so we're going to do this kind of separately here, the product of 7 and 8, right? So the product of 7 and 8, well, we know product is x and 8. So we've got right here the product of 7 and 8, and then we want 4 more than that. So that's where this comes in. Okay? All right. The last one, I'm going to skip that other one. The last one I want to go over here is this number 8. So this number 8 is kind of a tricky one, okay? And that's why I want to go over this one. First of all, let's look for our operation instructions here. The number of days in 6 weeks. Well, if you go back to that box on Canvas, and hopefully by now you've paused this video and you have gone to the assignment and you've copied that box down in your notes because it needs to be easily gotten to, okay? You don't want to have to keep flipping back and forth screens. So if you look at our operation word, the only thing we have here is hub. And I apologize for the noise. I am making this video in the middle of a really bad storm, and my dog is very unhappy, so I apologize for that. All right, so of is our operation. Go lay down. Of is our operation. Now you'll notice in the box, of is used a lot. Difference of, product of, sum of, right? Of is used a lot, but here there's nothing else with it. It's just the word of, all by its lonesome, and that is multiplication. Now we also need numbers to deal with, and the only number we're given is 6 weeks. Well, we need 2 numbers to multiply together. We can't multiply 6 by nothing, so we need to have another number, and we're not given another number. But we are told the number of days in 6 weeks, so ask yourself, what is the, I am so sorry. Reese, go lay down. Ask yourself, what is the number of days in a week, right? Well, the number of days in 1 week is 7, so that means the number of days in 6 weeks would be written 7 times 6, and that's the expression there. All right, for the bottom half of the homework, I want to just do a couple of these, just kind of pick and choose a few, so let's go here. So what I did in class is I wrote some steps on the board, right? PEMDAS. That's what we always want to go back to. So PEMDAS is, P is for, I'm going to abbreviate here, parentheses. E is for exponents. M is for multiplication. D is for division. A is for addition. And S is for subtraction. Now, the one kind of special note you need to make is that when multiplication and division are the only things on the line, they're considered equals. They're on the same level. So you do them left to right. And also, addition and subtraction are considered on the same level. So if you have nothing but addition and subtraction, then you also do those left to right. Okay, so first you start level 1 right here, right? Then level 2. These 2 are level 3, and these 2 are level 4. All right? So let's look at let's look at kind of a simple one at first. Let's look at number 9 here first. So we've got 4 plus 2 times 8. Well, looking at PEMDAS, we do multiplication first. So we're going to do these two first. Well, 2 times 8 is 16. Okay? So now what we're left with is 4 plus 16, right? And since it says evaluate, we're getting it all the way down to a single number. 4 plus 16 is 20, is 20. So your final answer here is 20. Now, usually I like to work these up and down. That was kind of a simple one, so I went side to side there. But I'll show you why here in a minute. I usually like to work these up and down. All right, so let's look at number 11. I'm going to work that one up and down. So I'm going to rewrite it over here. I've got 6 times 6 divided by 2 times 9. All right, PEMDAS says, what do we do first? We do parentheses first. So that means that we work inside the parentheses first. So I'm going to ignore the 6 out here right now, and I'm going to ignore this times 9. And all I'm going to do right now is take 6 divided by 2. And 6 divided by 2 is 3. Okay, so I have now simplified inside the parentheses. Now, when you have a number right next to a parentheses, it just simply means 6 times 3. So that really becomes a times. So now I have 6 times 3 times 9, right? Well, those are right here. If you look at our list here, that is all multiplication. And when we have several things to do that are in one level, we do them left to right. So that means that we have 6 times 3, and I'm going to grab my calculator here real quick. We have 6 times 3, so 6 times 3, and then times 9 equals, and your total is 162. And that's the answer you circle. So when you want to come back up here to, that was what, number 11, the answer is 162. Okay? Let's see. Let's do number 15 here. So we've got 12 minus 2, and then this dot means times 5 plus 3. Looking at it, we have a subtraction, a multiplication, and addition. PEMDAS says we do multiplication first, okay? So we're going to multiply, okay? We're going to multiply 2 times 5. So we're going to ignore this 12 minus, and we're going to ignore this plus 3, and we are going to stick in the middle there. 2 times 5 is 10, all right? Now we have subtraction and addition left, and anytime you have matching on the same level operations, you just do it left to right. So 12 minus 10 is 2, right? 12 minus 10 is 2, plus 3 is 5, and that's your final answer. So for number 15, if I was doing this worksheet, I would go in and I would put the number 5. Now notice I'm having to do the work, and that's number 15. This right here was number 11. Notice I'm having to kind of find space to do the work because these are really crunched in there. You can always, when you're doing your assignment on Kami, you can always, if you scroll to the very bottom of your worksheet, now I don't have it here because I'm not in Kami right now, but there's going to be a circle with a plus sign. If you click on that, it's going to give you the option to add a piece of lined paper or blank paper or grid paper or whatever. If you want to add a piece of lined paper, and if you need to show some of your work down there because you're running out of room, that is totally fine. When you submit it in Kami, it submits your main worksheet and it submits all pages that you added. Okay, so I'll be able to get them. All right, let's just do a couple more and then we will call this quits. So let's look at number 18 here. So for number 18, we've got 25 plus 30 divided by 6 times 5. Now we've got a plus, a division, and a multiplication. So for right now, we're going to ignore this 25 plus because we don't mess with plus yet. All right, and so the first thing we're going to do, we have a division and a multiplication. Remember, those are on the same level, which means we do them left to right. So we grab these two, and we do that first. So 30 divided by 6 is 5, and then we've got that times 5 that we're going to drop down there because we haven't done anything with that. And now we've got a plus and a multiplication, additions and multiplication. So we're going to do the multiplication first. That means we bring the 25 down again, and we do 5 times 5, which is 25, and now we've got 25 plus 25, and that's 50. Notice I kind of call it the upside down triangle. I start out with my big problem, and I whittle it down and whittle it down and whittle it down until I get to my answer. Okay, so when you show all your work, which you have to show all your work in my class, you can't just write the answer. This was number, what, 18? Yeah, this was number 18. I like to always label what number it is so I can find your work. So if you just come over here to number 18 and you just write 50 and you don't show any of this work right here, right? All you do is write the number 50 under number 18. I can't give you credit for that because I don't know what you did and why you did it and how you did it, and I can't help you if you got it wrong. So make sure that you show all of your work, okay? I think that's good. I think that should get you through your homework. If you have any other ones on your homework that there's something in there that's a snag that maybe is a little bit harder for you to do, just shoot me an email and I'll be happy to help you. If there's one like number 22, right, you've got this times here you're going to do, you've got this times here you're going to do, you've got this times here you're going to do, and then you would add 2 plus, that would be 24, minus 15 plus 12, and then you would just do 2 plus 24 minus 15 plus 12, and you would get your single answer, okay? So make sure you show me your work. Email me if you have any questions. Again, I apologize for the thunder and the dog, but unfortunately I was recording this video during a thunderstorm, and that's just... it just happens, so we're just going to run with it and be flexible. So if you're at home working, I hope to see you soon in class. If you need anything at all, please shoot me an email. And if you need a little bit of extra help, I can always open up a Google Meet. I can send you a link to a special Google Meet video chat, and you and I can just chat, and I can help you through some of the problems if you need me. All right? I hope you're having a good week, and stay safe, and I will see you soon.